This video is only one part of an in-depth review, so check out the rest at thegoodride.com. Thanks for watching. Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm here to help the average guy know what to buy if they can't try. And this is the ThirtyTwo TM-2 XLT Digger snowboard boot review. I got this on my Union Atlas and my GNU Banked Country. And to give you a short summary, this is definitely a step up from the TM-2, which I tried on but didn't ride, so I didn't do a review. But this little strap and just the overall construction seems a little bit better than the TM-2. So if you want that similar liner instead of the next step up like with the TM-3s, this might be a good fit for you, because that liner I feel like is a little less heat moldable, but a little more comfortable and a little easier day one. It's very shock absorbent. It seems to have great construction, like an articulating cuff. It's got great adjustability, and it seems like a very good boot for those that want something a little more responsive than the TM-2 and something that'll last a little longer. When it comes to sizing, the width is not ideal, but it's doable. Anything wider than an E, I think this is D and below. My E's feel a little tight. If I were to keep these, I would probably have to heat mold these and really put a cap on my toes and really blow out the toe box so I had more room to really get my toes to work. But they felt a little cold in these because they were so close together and pressing on the sides of the toe box. So I wish it had a wider toe box like Vans, like Burton, like K2, and so many others. But overall, I thought the fit was good. When it comes to heel hold, you have some pretty good heel hold. I'm not the best with that because my heels always kind of hold in boots. I don't really have heel lift issues. But if you do, you can put these little O-rings in here. Here's a really thick one. And then here's a thinner one. So you can kind of dial this out to fit your ankle and heel width and make sure these hold a little bit better, because they don't have lace and boa like the K2 Enders or like the Vans Infuse, two boots I really love that are traditional lace that can do some cool stuff in terms of heel hold. But this is pretty good. Now, when it comes to adjustability, I love a traditional lace boot. This is not easy on and off. No, this is a lot of work to get dialed out. But you have a cool lacing system here. I did like that the TM-3 XD had a little old school Nike thing that goes right here that I loved. It keeps the upper and lower separated. But all you have to do with this is make a little knot down here, and then you have upper and lower separation from the top and the bottom. And you can see this all laced up right here. Then you have this power strap, and you have a power strap inside. So that's kind of the main differentiator between the TM-2. This just really gives you a little more response, and it just feels a little stiffer overall. And speaking of stiffness, this is pretty stiff, you can see. And on the mountain though, it doesn't feel more responsive than its flex, which is kind of cool. It actually might feel a touch less, and I really like that. I thought that my TM-3 XDs were pretty close in terms of response to these guys, to where I wasn't missing anything. These are definitely more responsive, and they're a huge bump up from the TM-2s. But I just felt like the flex and the response weren't totally matched up, and I was kind of thankful for that because I like a more medium flexing boot. And you have so much adjustability here that you can dial out your response to kind of what you're into. Over time, you can start using this a little more, tightening this a little more to keep the response as the boot breaks in. But speaking of that, flex retention here is pretty exceptional. I love what ThirtyTwo is doing these days. All their boots have, almost every boot I've tried has an articulating cuff, and that really helps reduce shell distortion. But the main thing that I love and really care about is how it preserves the flex over time. And almost every boot I've ever tried that has an articulated cuff lasts longer. It might not hold up in other places, but the flex lasts a long time. And then you have a pretty well reinforced back. The TM3 boots are a little stronger there, and so is the Jones TM-2, but it's definitely better than the regular TM-2. So I like that. Now, when it comes to shock absorption, I love this shock absorption. It feels very shock absorbent. It's just a thick sole that really helps when it comes to just dealing with all-day riding, reducing fatigue in your joints and your feet, but you don't have as much board feel. So if you're into board feel, you might not like these as much. But if you're somebody like me who just wants to ride till I'm 80, and you want to preserve your joints as long as possible, and you're willing to put up with a little less board feel to do so, then these are a great choice. I like them in some ways a little bit better than the TM3 XD. I thought these had just a little more shock absorption going on, but I liked how the TM3 XD seemed to have a little more rebound than these did. But this is a very cush, very shock absorbent ride. Now, when it comes to traction, you got Michelin soles. I love that. I hate seeing boots with a lot of EVA foam throughout. That can kind of suck. This doesn't. It's almost all Michelin on the bottom, and it has good grip. There will be no disco splits in the lift line if you're careful. Now, when it comes to footprint, comparing an 8.5 to a Burton 9, the footprint's almost the same. This is just a touch bigger. Oh, the insoles on these have this weird groove throughout the top of the footbed, and I just didn't like the way those felt. Not that I was going to use these anyways. They're just like every insole in the industry. They're just not that good, and you'd be much better off just getting some footprint insole technology, Insoles, or anybody else out there. They'll do much better than the factory insole. And if you can go custom orthotics, it'll make your life 10 times better. So overall, I think these are a great boot. A couple things I didn't like was just how many things there were on and off, and the laces kept getting in my way. I just liked the simplicity of the TM3 XDs. I liked the extra durable shell. I like the more middle ground response better for that. But I think this is a really good boot for the price point, and I like these better than my Burton Kendos, and I could have a beautiful life with these if I didn't discover the TM3 XD. All our reviews are a best effort, objective opinion from an average rider's perspective. There's no brand oversight, and we're free to say whatever we want. We send back everything unless it's a favorite, then we ask to keep those or straight up buy them. Now, if you need advice, fill out the Me Harmony profile in the Contact Us section of the site. It's the only way I can help you properly. If you want to support us, and if what we reviewed appeals to you, it helps if you buy through our links. So, thanks for watching.